think the faculty, because they were so concerned with each student, they were concerned that each student would succeed, and they saw to it that they brought the best out of you.
I was 16 years old when I went to Prairie View, but I matured and developed and grew. The teachers, as we call them, probably professors, carry over from high school, really cared about us. You could tell that they wanted you to learn. They weren't there just to draw a paycheck or just to teach you or just to put it out there. They wanted to make sure that you got it, that you really got it.
My freshman year, I lived in Minor Hall, and that was a special dorm for honor students. You graduate from high school with honors. And I stayed there my freshman year. And then the second semester, I was able to go back. And I stayed in Blackshear Hall with Mama Green. She was the black matron, and she just loved to spy on the girls. And Blackshear Hall was an old building. So if you had something, say like a credit card, whatever they used, and you could slice it down, you could open any door in the building. And she would go through your things while you were gone. We didn't have telephones in the rooms, and we would use an extension from her apartment, which was on the first floor. And of course, she would listen on our telephone calls and give us unsolicited advice about anything. The social life was holding your boyfriend's hand, walking to dinner. We had movies in the gym about once a week. We had just occasional dances, because when I went, the war was in full bloom then. And I think there were only, my senior year, there were only 8 boys left. But the soldiers had come in. It was a setting for the ASTP. And we were depending on them to give us a good time at our junior senior prom. And 2 nights before the prom, they were all shipped out. So my social life wasn't that great. Mr. Banks was very anxious that we experienced what he thought the finer cultural things in life. So every year he had some outstanding person to come and speak, sometimes several times a year. It's the first time I heard Roland Hayes, outstanding black operatic tenor. I had the opportunity to meet Langston Hughes, the great poet. W.B. Du Bois came, and once a year the Houston Symphony would come and play on Sunday afternoon. They made every effort to try to make up for the lack of opportunities that the children had in their hometowns. My freshman year, I sang in the choir, and we were asked to go and sing for the Texas legislature in Austin in order to soften their hearts so that we could get a library and wouldn't lose our accreditation. We knew that the beds, the furniture, the desks we had were cast-offs from Texas A&M. And the boys' ROTC uniforms were left over from Texas A&M from World War I. So they had the leggings that lapped around. But you had to wear a white blouse and a navy blue skirt. And if you were leaving the campus, Miss Suarez made sure that that's what you had on, so that the conductor would know that you were from Prairie View, and that if you misbehaved, he would let her know. I had a real good time my freshman year. I was a drum majorette, so I traveled with the band, and I sang in the choir, and I traveled with the choir. And then I made a couple of C's, and my mother said she was glad I was enjoying school, but no more C's. So I dropped out of the band after that. Twirled a baton, had boots up to our knees and little short skirts, and we had fun.
My impression of Prairie View was it meant another challenge. I was moving up it meant some independence. So I was glad to be able to grow up and be on my own and make my own decisions and go to school and continue what I had started in high school. There were a lot of people on the campus, a lot of freshmen on the campus. I had a chance to meet people I hadn't met before. I was moving into a dormitory and living with people I had never met before. I mean, this was a new experience, all new people. It was, you know, I really liked it, and I was on my own. I had to make my own decisions. And so it was just something that, you know, it was evolving. My life was evolving. I thought I was growing up. Living on Prairie View's campus back in the 50s, as compared to living in the 2000s, it was just like daylight and dark. It was quite different. The social life was, I enjoyed it. We had dances on the campus where we would go and dance in that gym until dust was flying all over the place. We had a lot of movies on the campus, so we could, you know, go to movies. There was the rec. You probably would spell it R-E-C. We called it W-R-E-C-K. But it was a social place on the campus where we could go. We got together, you know, in the dormitory. The girls had a good time living together. The campus was small. There were approximately, I guess, 2,500 on the campus. Oh, Dr. E.B. Evans was the president at the time. In fact, I think Dr. E.B. Evans was president when my father attended, and he graduated in '35. He was, you know, well known. He had been on the campus for quite some time. I think a few years after I graduated, he was no longer president. Everybody liked him. Everybody knew him, and you know, he was well known. So he was good for Prairie View.
Dr. A.I. Thomas was the president, and he, of course, was somebody on the campus that we all looked up to.